Renegades managed to even things up on Mirage, but it certainly wasn't easy. Grayhound put up a fight, but we are at the 1-1 stage. Pimp and Blair, as you join us back here on the desk to break this one down. And this is Renegades again, right? Showing that they won't be put down, they won't be caught off guard, even if they were yesterday against Vici.
Maybe you're right when you said that it just need to wake up. I mean, there was a game where I would say Renegades were in charge for the majority of the time and looked good. JKS showing up big time. You know, some of those individual skill sets that the Renegades guys have seemed to be in control throughout the entire game. There were a point, you know, where you thought to yourself, all right, Grayhound, they made the comeback. It was 10-10, but then Renegades once again took over the game and showed them that they were the better team here in Mirage. A little bit, I wouldn't say disappointing in Grayhound. I think they made it competitive and I think they made it good, but there was a few mistakes and a few mid-round decisions I questioned, I would say, and I think they're going to feel, or look back at this game, so to speak, and feel a little bit sad that they didn't capitalize more of those mistakes.
Yeah, I completely agree, and also the fact that if you look at how this game has played out so far, they've won.
Scarf, by the way.
Thanks, man. Natu's been throwing it around. And I'm like, hey, you know, if it's an ENCE merch, I'm just going to use it. Yeah, easy. Cool. Anyway, the point is, the point I'm trying to make here is the fact that it's both the teams have won their maps, their opponent's map pick, which goes to show how these two teams, you know, it gets very close, so they can always upset each other, right? And going to Cash, it's going to be interesting. The really cool thing to see about Grayhound with the fact that, like you said, no one really like fell off, so to speak. They got outplayed, they made a few mistakes, but not like they played a bad game. No one really had a terrible game. Sure. On the other hand, for Renegades, the players started to get going. Of course, Jakem, you know, he's a non-Australian in the team, but he's been definitely a beast, at least stats-wise, in the past few lands they've been playing in past few tournaments. They've been playing ever since they picked up those two new players, Dragatus Faction and Liaz, and he really stepped up. 28 or 29 kills. It's an insane performance coming out from him. JKS, again, Mr. Justin Savage, as Chad calls him, the best Australian player. He lived up to his name as well. He had a great game showing from him. Going into Cash, I think this is going to be very interesting. From the Grayhound we saw yesterday, all the aggression on the CT side and the way Renegades also know how they played. Bear in mind, I think this map went to overtime, I think?
16-14.
16-14, close enough. And I think this is going to be one hell of a banger.
I definitely agree. I think Cash is the best potential map you could have for a third map decider between these two teams. It's a map both teams are known for being good on, especially Renegades. You know, there's a long history going back to even 2 or 3 years ago where Cash being one of those maps you didn't want to play against Renegades because they were so good at it. It's a map that allows for a lot of aggression. It allows for a lot of proactive play, so to speak. If you lose mid control, you're going to push in A main or you're going to push B side, whereas if you lose B control or A main control, you're going to push middle or you're going to push B. There's so many stuff or so many things and so many different variants of possibilities you can do on this map, and both teams have showcased on map 1, on map 2, that they're able to be proactive, they're able to take that step into the game and make it competitive. So I'm looking forward to Cash, and I think it's going to be super close and not at least a very tense one as well.
All right, so next up is Cash, right? Or, okay, I'm not going to trigger the Australians on Twitch chat. I'm going to start saying Cash. I'm going to give them what they want, right? Because they get triggered every time we say it regardless. Yeah, well, Cash is coming up next, right? And Grayhound, this is where they've got their work cut out for them. You had the first map. You were looking so strong. You go into the second one, and it slowly slips away. You had a sign of hope. What do they need to do here? Right
now, I think firstly, it's a lot at stake, right? You don't want to go to the lower bracket where Vici is, you know, lying in wait. You don't know how these guys are going to play dangerous opponents. So obviously, everything on the line over here. If I was Grayhound Gaming, I would go for it. I would go for that proactive play. The way they played Inferno, for example, on the CD side, going for information play, strangulating Renegades. On the other hand, for Renegades, I'll just say stick to your strengths. Your defaults are better, in my opinion, compared to Grayhound. It's going to be a barn burner. And I'm just going to mention it out there. Apart from winning the minor slot, you know, the first slot into the major, it's also a battle of which team gets to be called, the boys, YTB. I think one of these teams the winner deserves it, so to speak.
You want to find Liaz, you want to fight Grayhound Faction right now. You want to see if you can bully those two guys. They're the young guys from Renegades. They haven't had a good showing so far in this series. Without pointing any fingers or being disrespectful to those two, they're not playing up to the best right now. So can you find a way to bully them and put even more pressure on these two youngsters? That's going to be a great sign for Grayhound. I think this is going to be a barn burner of a match. I think it's going to be super close. And I'm going to say right here, I think Grayhound is going to win and qualify for the major.
Woo! Okay, some straight fire there, Pimp. Glad, are you going with that?
Yeah, ooh, that's hard, right? You know what? I really don't know how to predict this one. I'm just gonna go with Grayhound because I like those guys.
Okay, so Grayhound is where the desk thinks this one is gonna go, but we're gonna go over to Cash. I'm gonna keep pleasing the Australians in chat, and who else will keep pleasing the Australians in chat is gonna be none other than Hugo and Harry. Let's get this one underway.
Yes, map number 3, and it's Cash or Cash, depending on whereabouts in the world you might happen to come from. Grayhound Gaming versus Renegades. Hugo, We've seen this go the distance. Grayhound picked up a convincing win over on Inferno. Renegades turning it around, digging deep on Mirage and finding a pretty dominant victory there. And now we settle it on what used to be such an iconic map for Aussie Counter-Strike.
And hey, long may it continue as we head into this one, Harry. Winner going straight to the new challenger stage of the major, and the loser getting a second chance to fight back against Vici. But that's all for later. For now, it's going to be this best of 3 finale. Grayhound, T-side start. They've got plenty of utilities they set up outside of this A bomb site. Dexter and Sterling waiting to throw it all in from main. Could even go for a bit of a mid-fake as well with a potential boost later in the round. The question is, Azza, he's aggressive and he's got a lot of information off of that. The door gets open and the bomb gets dropped, but he has for one. Azza can't follow up, and it's going to be Gratisfaction to try and bail out Renegades. Unfortunately for that, the bomb going down and all this utility left up. Grayhound didn't even need it for the take, so now they have it for the post plant, cutting off the highway with one of the smokes, and they still have another one left and flashes to force these peaks. That smoke is going to make things even more complicated for Renegades on this retake.
Flash rains in, Jacob already up and past it. JKS with one more, and ready. 2 players could get this done, could create the opportunity for Renegades. It's going to be these two. JKS taps that bomb, Sterling landing the dink, takes the peek, but Jacob able to shut him down. The defuse gonna come in with seconds to spare. Renegades successfully retaking that site despite being a man down. And I mean, JKS just exuding confidence there. I just saw him out in the hallway moments ago. He didn't look worried at all, Hugo.
No, calm as anything, but that's so unfortunate for Sterling there, right? After he gets the dink on the defuser, he tries to wide strafe to finish off the job, but JKS and Jacob do a great job of swapping positions, so he ends up taking the fight to the wrong player there. If he kills the bomb diffuser, if he makes that a one-on-one, that's his round. It's surely undoable for Renegades just due to the time. Unfortunate, but a 1 round from Renegades puts them in the lead 1-0 as an AK is brought up on Malta. Everyone else pistols. Ooh, that AK is already gone out of the picture. And we do have armor on 2 more men here for Grayhound. So that can be retrieved and played with by Urkas, who's had a phenomenal tournament so far. Top-rated player of Grayhound. Back towards middle. They give up on B early on, even though Jacob is tagged down to 6 HP. Going for this mid boost, setting up the AK to try and find something, and there is a man on highway, that's Azza, but Renegade's fully rifled up here, prepared for every range. Not going to be any SMGs, which could be a bit of a problem up against this one rifle. Rotate off of highway as well. Azza going to go back to the A site, and this gives time for Urkas to move in.
Yeah, that one solitary rifle out for Grayhound Gaming. It is thrown over onto Urkas. He's been on fire throughout every series they've played. But Azza, 1 step ahead, shuts down that solitary rifle over on the highway. Jacob in with another. He has polishing off the remaining players, and that will be the round going the way of Renegades. A 2-0 start. Grayhound in with the buy here. They do get rifles out. One of the reasons I'm so glad that this has gone 3 maps is, as Australia, you know, the dates, they're a little bit further ahead of us, right? So slowly but surely it's becoming the 26th of January, Hugo. And do you know what's so special about the 26th of January?
Tell me.
It's Straya Day. It is Australia Day, yeah.
Well, this is going to be a real reward.
Exactly. What a way to celebrate it.
One of these 2 teams making the major.
I like to think that it's a national holiday because of this matchup.
Maybe that's why the schedule was made this way. Who knows? Either way, rifles up for Grayhound here. Full AKs into this one. Of course, the exception of Malta, who did buy up that AK in the previous round, but not really a problem. 4 AKs will be able to get the job done. You would like to think. Not much mid-presence for Renegades here. They just have that solo highway player who is doubling back between the highway and watching Squeaky rather. Connector smoke being set up for Urkas as well, and Gratisfaction. He can easily just fall off of this position, give that mid-control away. They do have that vent player as well to stop the potential B split, but right now with the bomb still yet to commit. We'll be going towards that B side of the map. JKS, this is where he's going to be left under pressure. Peek out wide. Nice shot to take down Urcast. This bomb coming in behind him as well. He's got a lot to do. Already getting tagged down a little bit more. Will escape. You even have a rotate back towards B for Gratisfaction.
Dexter knows he has JKS boxed in, but they don't have anything to flush him out with. That doesn't matter because Malta and Dexter, they've cracked B open. They're within the bomb site now. This bomb does still have to try and get across, but plenty of smoke still up for Grayhound. And will facilitate this bomb plant. Tapping it, Malta takes that fight onto Jacob. Ballsy move. And now Azza barreling in through CT is only good for one. Liaz up in the heavens, stops the bomb going down, and now just Dick Stacy and Sterling. Liaz, 5 seconds, they have to get that bomb down, and I think they've missed it. Grayhound, they aren't able to get that plugged in time. Renegades picking up a third. Liaz, the hero alongside Azza at the end. The Renegades know that they should not have picked that round up. They are very fortunate indeed. But it's mistakes like that that Grayhound cannot afford to make.
The best fight is pacifism, which Liaz learns in that round. Just giving up the bomb site and Grayhound not getting the plant in. Now they're stuck with 2 AKs, and that's going to screw the economy of Grayhound for the short term because no loss bonus on both these players. They don't want to force around it because they've not got a huge amount of money to play with. That being said, in the follow-up, it's going to be Sterling and Dick Stacy with no cash either, so there is really no solution to this other than a bomb plant that would make things a little bit easier, relieve some of the pressure here for Grayhound. But right now it really is on with Renegades 3-0 up in this map. Utility set up into this B site. It is just that solo fake. The issue is the fake's not going to be sold. Renegades have very close positions. They're not going to heavy rotate off of this A site when they own the checkers. They do move their mid player back towards B. But still a couple of men up on this A site, so Grayhound getting very little done with that utility, and now setting up outside of A to go for the full execute.
This is why Liaz and Azza reside. Molotov isolates the man that was supposed to come in from Squeaky. Instead, forces Dick Stacy into that solo fight on his lonesome. Doesn't have the support he was meant to have, and well, Malta in with one and a second at that, so good time for him to roll back to yesterday's form, and a nice flick from Gratisfaction. Oh, good night to Grayhound. They get put down here. Renegades 4-0 up. 3 players staying alive. That round could have very quickly gotten out of hand for the Renegade side. Malta finding the entries, but Gratisfaction swooping in and shutting down that attempted A-side take from Grayhound.
But as mentioned, this money is a mess for Grayhound with no bomb plant. Luckily, the damage did come through at least. So they got a bit of money off kill bonus and they're going to buy up, but you can see it's skew if. That orb been dropped over for Sterling. Nothing to fall back on means that Renegades very close to breaking the money again from Grayhound. 4-0 start. This is a fantastic beginning to the CT side. Sterling, would be nice to have him try and open up this round, get that pick, because Gratisfaction already starting to find his form in this map as well. We just saw in that previous round. Sterling slow towards B. There's smoke up in main as well. They know that Renegades have been playing very heavy towards these checkers and vents areas, so they're going to keep an eye on it. Lots of Molotovs to try and catch JKS out in this position. The boost over timing is unfortunate for Gratisfaction as he just rotates off right as that comes over. Jacob pushing that smoke in middle as well. He gets a lot of info off of this, but he might need to burst out and help Azza in a second because already that mid boost has come through. The Molotov forces him off. Sterling does kill JKS's aggressive peek on B, and Gratisfaction was still here, but he's backed off to the site. The mid push not working out for Jacob, and it was a nice attempt considering Renegades were already down a man, but now this just puts them further in the hole.
Azza and Gratisfaction, the two to try and dig them out of it. Flashing round, that allows Azza to take this peek. Sterling playing the anti-flash. Gratisfaction has to show up once again, and he'll get put down by Dick Stacy. So Liaz, long way from home, all the way inside of the A-bomb site, will just have to concede this round. There's no way back into it for him. Cast is going to hear him on the rotation. And Grayhound will grace the scoreboard with their first round in the rifles. And now, as a result of those last couple coming so down to the wire, Renegades, they've run out of money. So a chance for Grayhound to start to build into this game early.
Yeah, definitely. And off the back of that AWP pick down on B as well, Sterling finding the opening kill that we wanted. It was Urcast who actually really went above and beyond when we did see Grayhound win this map just the other day. This time it's Malta really having the strong start, at least on that CZ round back to the A site. So timeout here for Grayhound, working out how much money Renegades have and how they're going to approach this one as well. But yeah, it's a force from Renegades, far from perfect. Pistols, armor, solar Famas on Jacob. And this is when you're going to see those, you know, those triple mid setups, those aggressive A main pop flashes. Something that Renegades can try and catch out Grayhound with instead of just playing this passive rifle setup that they have been running. And there we go, 2 deep mid players already. We could see this boost straight away for Renegades. They've mollied off the top, so Grayhound can't get in position. And Jacob is going to go right up and over. Is being watched by Dick Stacey. So he needs to be very, very cautious here about showing the top of his head. And I don't mean Dick Stacey. So Jacob just keeps cover for the time being as Grayhound hold this default on the T side. Still not keen to push in anywhere. More so waiting for a reactive play from Renegades. It's more likely to happen on these low buy rounds. Someone gets impatient and aggressive as a result. But Renegades aren't biting. And this is where the boost happens, Harry. This is where the fun happens, because Dick Stacey's going above and beyond, and Jacob catches him off guard, not aware of the possibility of that. Urcast will trade immediately with the second boosted player coming through, and the one rifle from Renegades has been removed. Follow up to the B site. Back of the checkers is going to be a great position, considering JKS just died here, and they won't expect Gratisfaction, but he's going to get shot out from B main. The information passed over, and Dexter 180s him. Grayhound own the B site now with both kills, and Renegades, they may as well save.
Pretty gut-wrenching call to have to make when you go for that force buy, but you're bang on, Hugo. Grayhound securing the second round. Renegades just going to have to run this double pistol armor set up into the next. Won't have anything to play with around that. So this is really where Grayhound are going to start to chain a couple together. You imagine they're going to go 3-4 here, as we do see this little streak come out from them, and that, you know, shows the implications of how close those rounds got, and how, even if you think to that Grayhound force buy where they hit that A bomb site, the couple of kills that Malta's able to get with the CZ, you know, in what was a Renegade round, still has its implications now, and that's being felt, the waves, the echoes of that, playing into the outcome of this game early on. 4 players staying up for Grayhound, so no such issue on their end as they are building up money now on this T side. And this is poising them nicely, at least in the early stages of this first half.
Yeah, definitely so. Grayhound somewhat in the lead of the next couple of rounds, as Renegades are still waiting for that buy to come through. So hoping for a big hero play from Azra in this one if Renegades really want any stake in picking this up. They will go for a full A stack here, and this is a nice core. Flash to main, try and get aggressive. You've got to wait a bit of time before Grayhound are actually pushed in, and there are a couple of players near about, but they just fall out. Bad timing on that flash. As Renegades push in, find nothing. And off the back of that lack of info, they may just force a full rotate down towards B or even highway here. No point hanging around at an empty bomb site, so 2 players, 3 start to go discovering, although Azza recommits back towards middle. And Grayhound, at this point, they are creeping into the B site. They have put pressure on mid, but Azza's going to be focused on stopping whoever's coming in on this vent split. However, that's yet to be employed. Only Urcast is looking in the middle. Damage taken, and he probably won't re-peek off the back of that because Grayhound are already in B. They're already smoking off that CT spawn. Dick Stacey spammed down low. JKS looking for some chip damage through this smoke, and he's finding a bit, but not conclusive to a kill just yet. Grayhound will get this bomb down, and in a 5-on-5 retake with this little to play with, the Renegades, very little chance.
It's issue is another flawless round. That really does put Grayhound in such an advantageous position. It is so easy to fall into the trap when you're on that CT side of buying, losing around, having an eco, and then you just rinse, repeat that over and over again. You can see they're putting a lot of stake in trying to remove a couple of guns if they can. And that's a nice start. Jacob dropping Urcast. Won't be allowed to retrieve the rifle. Ooh, actually. Oh. Yeah, no chance for that. 3-4, but now the buy back in from Renegades over on this CT side. Taking a look at the money. They do have enough for the AWP over on Grayhound, so we get to see that. And now we might get to see the AWP on AWP duel between him and Sterling once again.
Yeah, slightly lacking utility here and there, but otherwise a very good buy for Renegades as this loss bonus begins to build. 3 in a row for Grayhound. Stacey spamming mid. Doesn't catch Jacob, who just moves into that close position in the trash, hiding below the boost. Something that Grayhound have employed from time to time here, but this time they're just focused outside that A site. Malta setting up utility up in the squeaky door. Sterling looking for a flash pick out this A site, and he did spot the head there. The issue is his re-smokes come through, and he's not going to be able to find the kill. As are spamming away and just chipping away at Grayhound, but not quite finding anything notable. In the meantime, Dex is pressuring B, and there is only one man here, so if Dexter can sneak his way in, find this pick, take down the solo AWP, this round is very much opened up, and well, he won't be going for it alone. He's going to have his team rotate in. Now, not much info to make this call for Grayhound, but it is going to be the right one. Flash is good. Gratisfaction falls back. But Dexter doesn't expect the right side peek, and he will go down. That AWP now spotted here. The mid boost being watched by Jacob. He's got to worry about his close. And he won't. Dick Stacey takes him down. That opens up mid. 30 seconds left as Grayhound look to split this B site.
Gratisfaction and JKS here. Gratisfaction, he was a man who just a few rounds ago really did throw a spanner in the works for Grayhound. This time it's JKS looking to try and do it with him. Grat does get burnt out there. Sterling's Molly able to find him regardless. They have to get this bomb down. 10 seconds. Dick Stacey able to mop up the man in the heavens. And now this bomb plant looking to come through. Sterling punching in the numbers. This time Grayhound managed to get that bomb down, but it's the wrap from Azza that is going to cause them problems. Sterling repositioning into the back of the bomb site. Peeks on out, and Liaz will go ahead and finish him off. So Renegades, a 5th round to their name. The AWP carried forward on Liaz. Potential to move into a double AWP setup if they'd like. Curious if they're going to. You don't imagine they do. The rifles have been working just fine, and indeed they don't. So
not a necessity by any means. Renegades have been doing just fine with that solo AWP down on B. And considering how mobile you can be as a CT here, it's very easy to show your AWP down on B, get that quick rotate back to Z. No need to necessarily run 2 that can limit your ability to retake, and Cash is all about retakes, we know that. Gratisfaction this time, he's going towards the middle portion of the map. It's the spam from Dick Stacey again to stop any push. But actually he got wallbanged by Grat there, goes back and forth. He's continuing to hit damage. Gratisfaction getting bullied through this wall, down to 30 HP. I assumed Dick Stacey was shooting for the headshot angle, and Gratisfaction was already on top of the box. Well, tagged up low is a player from each side, but far more important that it is the AWP player. Jacob keeping them back on B with a smoke, and Grayhound again going for this boost. Urcast looks to open up middle like he does best. Now Gratisfaction is here on the box still. One thing we've seen from Grayhound is their ability to take this mid control. They do a little trick where they throw a flashbang, and when it pops, Urcast drops off the top of the boost. So if they can pull that out, Renegades won't know that they're in mid and dropped up close. This can put Gratisfaction's life under risk. We'll see if that happens later, because for now, Sterling, he might be met with some aggro B play.
Dexter trapped by that Molotov. He's stuck on the other side of it, but elsewhere, DXTacy's been allowed to worm his way into this bomb site. The bomb goes down, but the issue is Dexter and Sterling are a long way from helping out anytime soon. Oh, no. They're beginning this rotation, but Malta has to hold his own. Dexter missed shots, and he can't afford to re-peek into that on 9 HP, so he's taking the safe rotation. It's going to take him a very long time to get there, and now it falls to Sterling to try and hold back Renegades. Buy time for Dexter to get into position, but the bomb isn't planted for him. This round has fallen apart, and Renegades,
oh no,
they get the defuse, they just stick it. With Dexter trapped over towards B, they know that the last man is over in main, and the second they see that bomb is planted safe, they hop right on it.
I don't know why they committed to planting the bomb immediately there, Grayhound. They had 2 players on the other side of the map. Just because they got those kills, Renegades, instead of committing to the fights on B after they lose 1 man to Sterling, they just, hot rotate instantly. They want nothing to do with those 2 B players, and even though one comes from the back of the CT spawn, he misses the shot to the car rotate, and Renegades get on that bomb. Definitely an error from Grayhound they're going to come to regret. Oh, I love it. Liaz getting run boosted from the catwalk to the red box to the shroud spot. He's going to be up and above this A bomb site. JKS in the meantime, was that a smoke kill? I think he's just taken down Dexter through a fully fledged smoke, and Renegades have taken a man advantage as a result. Good position from Liaz, but going to get caught by Urkos. He's 1 step ahead, so man advantage at least retained, or at least contained by Grayhound, who are back into the 4-on-4. Az is going to jump up on top, but he doesn't see Urkos, who is right below him. Low HP that Az can finish off as well. Would love to upgrade his gun, but it's kind of behind enemy lines, and Gratisfaction shot through the smoke as well. As it blooms, DXTacy finds another, and now we have a 2-on-3, but Az are in an off angle they don't expect, and Sterling is the last man up. Great round from Renegades so far.
We've seen Sterling in these situations rise up and go above and beyond our expectations. It was him yesterday to get Grayhound to map point in that matchup versus MVP. Sterling really threading the needle here. Repeat from JKS, and that'll be him dealt with. Renegades 7-3. They trade very promptly. JKS makes sure to take that fight before Sterling can get another shot off.
Oh dear. I think we had 2 smoke kills in that round for Renegades. Gratisfaction got one through, oh no, okay, he wide straight forward. So not quite as unsettling. But yeah, nice positions on the site there for Renegades, at least being able to trade efficiently. No matter who Sterling kills there, you're going to have the other one wide swing. So things are getting tough now for Grayhound, 7-3. They really are being tried and tested on this 3rd and final map. And if you are just joining us, the winner of this does qualify for the major new challenger stage here in Katowice in just a few weeks' time. Renegades have never really been challenged in these playoffs before, with the exception of Tai Lu. So a new challenger has certainly entered the block. And it is the hometown heroes of Grayhound, bringing them to a 3rd map here on Cash.
Yeah, I think for Renegades, at least they can take solace in the fact that if any team has given them a run for their money, it's been another Aussie team, right? Yeah. You know, you have 2 of the real faces of Aussie Counter-Strike in this Renegades roster in the form of Azza and JKS. These 2 have been to more majors than I've had hot dinners. Well, that's not entirely true. Only because I eat a lot. Gratisfaction keeping an eye on mid. Smoke rains down for the time being, so that's his vision denied. Casting DXTacy. Looking to take control of this portion of the map. Gratisfaction not being shy about his presence over towards Z, but Grayhound looking to give up mid now that they've taken it. Urkos will keep an eye on this potential Vents boost and might get rewarded for it, but JKS, how's he managed to win that? Now man advantage gain for Renegades, and they're sitting pretty with 3 players inside of this A bomb site. Gratisfaction's in with another. It's DXTacy to get torn in 2, and now Sterling and Malta, all that remain. They've got to do so much work here. Sterling, the last man left. players all around, and we saw Jasiasta MVP throwaway map point running into this man's AWPs. The Renegades aren't keen on repeating that. Jacob peeks wide. An 8-3 lead for Renegades here. It was very back and forth to kickstart this map, but now in the last few, Renegades chaining together 4 rounds in a row, very much coming into their own.
Yeah, breaking the money again of Grayhound. It's buy eco. We said it was a potential problem for the CTs here after Grayhound started to pick up the pace on their T side, but oh, how the tables have turned. Renegades sitting very much in the lead here as Grayhound calling their 3rd tactical timeout on the map already, and we're not even a half in. Renegades, they've not needed to touch any of theirs. They are not feeling the pressure. And Grayhound pistols out. We can get a bit of armor, some utility, go for a faster B approach. Maybe a wall of smokes to mid and get that vent dive in. But being real, there isn't a lot you can do with this little money for Grayhound. They've got to wait for the future, wait for that full buy in the following. So 1 smoke and flash. And a molly. Yeah, definitely limited. They even left the bomb in spawn. Let's hope someone realizes that, and they will. Malta will run back. So whatever trick Grayhound had up their sleeve, it's going to be delayed by a little bit of time. Either way, it's looking like an A cross play.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Grayhound, you're not too worried about taking things slow here. You want to try and bait out as much utility as you can from Renegades. You want to at least be forcing them to go through that, have to rebuy a lot, waste a lot of this money. You know that you've still been finding damage in these rounds. You've just had trouble closing them out. Nade in towards mid, not going to find any damage onto Malta. That's him. And Dick Stacey once again look to challenge for this portion of the map. And it's all mate Gratisfaction here to lay down the paint. As we cut away from, he's able to find that frag onto Malta. We also catch Azza there. Quick double kill into main. Only Dexter left standing. He'd love to get something done with the Deeg, but you don't fancy his odds. Renegades all across the map. Look at them go. Liaz and Azza both clearing out main. They spot the bomb, and Azza's just going to be fixated on this portion of the map.
Oh dear, Gratisfaction in through the vent, in through the wall. And that will be the round finished off, rather. 9 rounds to Renegades on the CT side. And Grayhound, now they've got the buy, Harry. This is going to be one of their last of the half so far. Running out of rounds as we hit number 13. Nice. Good timing on Gratisfaction. Even if he doesn't hit that shot, there was a B main player who was pushed all the way up to useless. So, I mean, Dexter was dead, whether he liked it or not. And Gratisfaction, he's had a real turnaround. He definitely was a little bit slow in Mirage until that second half, but here he's just come into the map storming. 12 kills right now. Renegades have had no need for this double AWP, and Gratisfaction is doing the work of 2 men. Now Grayhound, what tricks have they got up their sleeve? Back to the A site potentially. We could even see this mid boost go through, but they're trying to take A main, and if you don't establish that control very early on, they're having to use a lot of utility to get in to make sure the Renegades have not aggressed, but nothing of the sorts for now. Nice smoke, bounces off, lands in main, cuts off the line of sight, and you can see Urcast ready for that position from Azza. He's been playing that quite a lot here. Mid boost coming over for Grayhound. And they execute with no one here for Renegades.
We saw Grayhound try and do this just rounds ago, smoking off Gratisfaction over here in Z. This allows them to get easy control down into middle. Of course, then we saw the vent peak from JKS, and we're going to see that once again. This time it is a 1-for-1 trade as they manage to mop him up. At the very least, it's just going to be the fast B play. Oh no, Dick Stacey fluffs the shot, and that's Jacob continuing to fight from checkers. Dexter left up in the 1v3, and there's still Gratisfaction here, tagging him in through the wall. 20 seconds and counting, and Gratisfaction's not missing a beat. Renegades 10-3. That flash granted them some temporary immunity from that push, and now Renegades sitting comfortably
What? Dick Stacey just stopped shooting. Did he assume he got the kill? I really don't know, but that is so unfortunate. That was the one kill that really could have made that round a reality.
It feels like that was the case, right? It feels like he just stopped shooting. You know, it happens to us a lot where you assume, you know, I've got the guy. And then I think the second he did is that's when he made the decision to drop out through the vents, right? You see him start shooting, but at that point, his accuracy's completely dropped because he's falling from the vents. Gratisfaction once more, kick-starting this round for the Renegades. We mentioned how he had fallen quiet in the previous map. Even back on Inferno, wasn't really present in the server. It seems only fitting that the old Grayhound boy himself is showing up here for Renegades in map number 3.
And look at the utility left for Grayhound as well. This is dire. A smoke, 4 flashbangs, 5 flashbangs, but these details don't really make a difference when Grayhound have 3 rounds. They've got to try and get something done here. Number 14, Jacob. Smoke in, good position, but they're going to go right through it. He could have easily caught their legs and taken a free kill without a doubt. That nade, slight damage as well, and Jacob is going to peek out. Nice shot. Molotov in, but they've already crossed. Nurkos has found an entry. Jacob, the survivor on this B site, is just mowing them down. 2 kills. But eventually getting finished off as Azza will rotate in from the heavens. So 11 rounds to Renegades. Kassar looking pumped. Given one of those special massages against JKS. Why not? And right now, Harry, this is just a domination. I mean, I thought Inferno was a confident map for the likes of Grayhound. Well, they are getting taught a whole new lesson. 11-3 from Renegades. Last round of the half. And again, a mixed buy here from Grayhound. Not what they would want going into round number 15.
Yeah, I mean, they've cobbled together what they can. You can see Malta, he's only on that UMP. That allows him to field a little bit extra in terms of the utility here. He's lining up that initial flash for the rest of his team. There's no smoke down on the cross, which, considering there's 2 in play, feels like a bit of an error on behalf of Grayhound. They get completely annihilated. Renegades shutting down everybody. Only Dexter remains. They try and play off the contact. They try and just play with that one flash to not telegraph that play. Renegades are already posted up and ready, and a 1v5 needed from Dexter. This just surely isn't happening, and no, it's not. Renegades 12-3. They close out the most dominant half we've seen today. Fantastic stuff from them. Are Renegades going to keep this up, or will Grayhound somehow pull this back on their CT side? Find out after the break. Renegades wreaking havoc there in the first half. 12-3 up in the deciding map. It's Cash. Grayhound now switching things over onto the CT side. They need to go above and beyond. They need to play at a new level if they want to get back into this. Renegades setting up for the B play early on. 4 players here with Azza over in main to try and draw the attention away from B. Gratisfaction throwing in that Molotov onto headshot. Smoke falls in CT. That's the B bomb site given up as Grayhound play for the retake.
Yeah, and this is not an easy site to retake by any means. Now, they do have that smoke on Malta and the Kid as well, but Renegades still want more smoke for the CT spawn, or even Heaven if they like. It will go down lower. Another 15 seconds added to the clock, so if Grayhound want to go, they've got to go right through it right now. They can't afford to wait the entirety of that smoke as Gratisfaction picks off the Heaven player. The push will begin to come through. They're creeping on by. Jacob ready on the other side, but he won't hit the shot. It's Dexter with a double, and surely no more. Dick Stacy's found one as well. It's still an open plant, but Grayhound have tapped and stuck the bomb. Renegades need to stop this defuse right here, right now, and Jacob coming in on the side. They don't realize, but Grayhound just did stick the bomb and defused it. Malta gets away, and that is a one round by Grayhound. I have no idea how that happens. But fantastic work.
That never should have happened.
No.
And if there ever was a way for a team to get back in to a matchup where they're down and out for the count, it's 12-3. Renegades looking good. And then you win it on just balls to the wall stick in the defuse. That would be incredible, but we're a long way from that. That's what we'd like to see. We'd love a story where Grayhound do build back into this game, but make no mistake, they're still a long way from feeling comfortable. That round, even there, down to the wire, down to a stroke of luck as well. You're not going to have that going your way every time. Renegades setting up over towards the A-bomb site. Dexter here, boosted up, wasn't spotted, and Sterling trying to bait in Renegades. There's Dexter emerging. JKS with this one rifle. It's quick to get the trade. Flashes do rain through to deny this peek and attempt to push from the Renegades. That's the bomb dropped as well. Urkast's going to spot that. Look at Malta. He's gone all the way through B. They get the info that everyone must be here for the Renegades, and Urkast holding close. Liaz is good for one, but Urkast mopping up these players. Leaves just JKS standing.
Oh, almost gets him through the smoke. He's just going to dive through. Reload needed, and here's the flank in play. But JKS almost gets it. Malta surviving with 15 points of health, keeping this round alive for Grayhound, and that was certainly a must-have. Too many times do we see comebacks potentially started by a pistol round win, only to lose to a force buy. Well, this won't happen for Grayhound. They've kept this one going. Now Renegades take an eco. Actually, sorry, rather a buy. They, of course, did only have 1 AK in that previous round, so they've still got the money for the guns, with the exception of Azza. A tactical pause called out by no one. That was just me. It's technical rather, so we'll be waiting on that really quickly. I did say play take off the headset. But things are looking good to get back into it, so Renegade's going to have the buy. Azza on a CZ, everyone else rifled up. And now, if you're Renegades, this is where you pull out whatever you have, the best call, because you want to shut this down before it even begins. If Grayhound are going to pull this game back, it's a long road.
If you got gimmicky strats, now's the time to use it. If you've been holding on to something, now's the time to use it. If you just want to let JKS brute force his way into a bomb site, now's maybe the time to use it. Renegades, they still have 7 rounds to their advantage. They're feeling comfortable. There's no need to worry yet, but you're bang on, Hugo. They want to try and slow this down before Grayhound can even get their foot in the door.
And if they do get their foot in the door, they want to slam it shut. This nade could be very well timed. But Urkast's not convinced. Oh, he's going to go for it. And there it is. Nice, good damage. Around 100, in fact, to those 2 players. That's about as good a nade you're ever going to get. If that was a double, we could have a kill here. Or both, in fact. Renegade's still dropping into middle. Gratisfaction, he's taking more on the way. Oh, Sterling has to be careful from that highway while throwing the smoke, but it is all fine and dandy for the moment. Renegades do get gifted this mid-control, and the only worry is this boost spot. Because right now it's still focused over on main. Luckily, the smoke will hide Dexter from them as Renegades back off into B with the push coming in through the vents at the same time. It's Dick Stacy at the back of Checkers though. They do have a Molotov on Liaz, but he's coming in through B main, so needs to throw it very deep if they want it here. Instead, Dick Stacy peeks out wide, 1-for-1. Az has now got a gun upgrade, and that Molotov going to force Malta into the open, but no problem for him to find one. The trade is there, and off contact, Urcast goes wide, and he finds one. It's so close here for Renegades, as they do get the bomb down on the site with 10 seconds remaining. Not an open plant, so this nade will not stop it, you would like to think. Whoa.
Re-smoke the CT, and that's going to buy Renegades precious time to set up in these post plants. You're going to note that bomb planted for JKS. Actually, it's not, rather. It looks like it's been planted safe, so Gratisfaction. Suddenly, these fights become that much more important. This crossfire setup between JKS and Grat divides the attention of Grayhound. Sterling, 2 kills to 5, and they're just playing with their food. Renegades, 13-5. Straight in with the rifle round win.
And what a game to have Gratisfaction popping off in the third map against his old team. 20 kills. He finds 3 in that rifle round on the AK. Not even just the AWP. Whatever he's got, he's getting it done. And nice try from Grayhound. I mean, they traded very, very well. It's just once they get into that 2v2, they don't know where Renegades are. They're rushing through a smoke. They're kind of left in a very odd spot. So now Renegades breaking the money of Grayhound, putting them to just USPs as they wait for the follow-up round. Dick Stacy already bought armor. I imagine that was not on purpose, and then realized the error, as now Grayhound are saving for that next round. And Jacob, nice shot. Dick Stacy's already dead, so that one armored player has been removed. Oh, same story for Dexter. Was that through smoke as well? Dear, oh dear.
Gratisfaction has just entered another level in this map. What a time to come alive. Just Malta inside of B for Grayhound, only arm with the USP. This is going to be a clean and quick round for Renegades, 14-5. By coming for Grayhound in the next, and this will be their last chance to put a stop to the Renegades train. Grayhound, things were looking so good for them when we started the day. They were able to take a convincing win back on Inferno. It got you believing. It got you believing in the battle for the boys.
But Renegades, they want to retain that title, Harry. No exceptions, no giving it away. 14-5 here, 2 rounds away from the new challenger spot at the major. Renegades looking to do it again and again and again here in these Asian minors. They really are the king of this region, albeit not being based in it. Gratisfaction through the smoke, but he did see the player. So not complete luck. But now look at the money. I mean, Grayhound ecoed the previous round, hard eco. They still have to do it again. They still only have armor pistols here. They've got to give Renegades 15 and then play a rifle round 15-5 down and try and play for overtime. I mean, it takes some balls to make that call, but what else have they got?
This really is a ballsy call. You bang on. I mean, potentially you're looking to win, have to win 10 in a row to force overtime if you're Grayhound. Either that or they have to find it with these pistols. You look up and down this roster as well. It's been a relatively quiet game from players that have so consistently been showing up for Grayhound. I don't think that's through lack of trying. I think that's because Renegades, they've channeled in to a form that we haven't seen in some time. Oh. But Urcast, one of the guys I was going to mention, he's found a double. Oh, and the triple. Urcast, my goodness, look at him go. I was just about to say, one man in particular who we haven't seen all too much from in this map, who has fallen a little bit quiet, is Urcast.
And that's the best present Grayhound have ever had. I mean, on a round that they were willing to give away to Renegades to play for overtime. They only buy pistols. Urcast finds 3. This game is well and truly still on Harry. It's now the money for Grayhound is just quadrupled. AWP on Sterling as well. Now, Gratis Faction doesn't have his just yet, but maybe Renegades can speed up this pace and end it before it's too much of a problem. Try and get the reset. Sterling forced off with the Molotov. He's going to have to go back. Oh, does manage to catch that cross. Not getting taken down and very, very close to JKS pushing in through the checkers. JKS has to be very careful here because Sterling, he's ready. Not ready enough. The cross is there, and I don't think Sterling realized, but luckily enough, the info has been handed over. Dick Stacey getting tagged by the left side, so JKS, position been given away. Sterling having to smoke the site to hide from these Molotovs, but Renegades are fully uncommitted at the moment. This bomb's still back out, and so are 4 of the players, so they might just leave JKS here and try and be that nuisance as the rest of the team go back to A and JKS cuts off these rotates.
JKS here can really be a bit of a double-edged sword for Renegades, right? Because on one hand, fantastic position to deny rotations to keep these players inside of B. His presence there is very unnerving. But on the upside for Grayhound, they now know where one of these players are. If they want to try and take a fight, they want to try and isolate a single man, then they can. JKS could find himself trapped here if these other 4 players don't manage to win their fights. 20 seconds left on the clock, and this push about to come in. Dexter, boosted up, has to turn his attention back towards Highway. He needs support from Urcast, and he's not going to get it. Not going to get it anytime soon. Azza able to get one. Dexter still fighting, and he flicks on up. 5 seconds left, planting the bomb, and now Sterling versus Azza. Azza on 5 HP. Such a back and forth moment as we find ourselves in this 1v1. Sterling, the new addition to Grayhound, the man trying to fill in for Gratis Faction. He'll get dropped. It's Azza, the old boy on Renegades, 15-6. They'll reach map and series point. Not just that, but new challengers stage point. They are so close to securing that spot, just 1 round away from doing it once again.
And Grayhound, I mean, they've got money on a couple of players, but I only mean a couple. The AWP is here for Dexter, Sterling, Malta on pistols, and this is not the weaponry you want to be bringing into a round that could decide you getting knocked down to that lower bracket. Once again, to be facing Vici. Grayhound fought so hard to get up here, and they've shown some improvements, right? Getting 2-0 by Renegades initially in the groups and then bouncing back. Now with at least bringing this to a 3rd map, but sad to say, it seems like they are not at the level right now to take this victory. Let's see if someone can change that for the time being, because Dex has pushed all the way up in main with this AWP, and he's found Liaz. Nice opening frag from Grayhound. Man advantage secured immediately. Now let's see if Renegades have a reaction, because there's still a close player in middle, and Jacob's got to be very careful. Molotov going towards the deep side of middle. Jacob, he's got a couple of players to deal with, but Urkos has found that kill. These 3 rifles, 2 of them already finding opening frags for Grayhound, and the pistol's even going to join the party on Malta. Gratis Faction, he needs a hero play or JKS. These are the 2 left up, but who else would you want for Renegades? JKS opening up the B site, the flank is there from Dick Stacey, and Gratis Faction, a 1-on-4 to try and qualify Renegades to the major. Surely too much to ask for. The Molotov, the pistol's out, he finds the kill. Now 2 HP on Gratis Faction and 30 seconds should allow for this plant. The rotation for the vents doesn't want to come in too early as Dexter wants his teammates side by side. Now that will be heard, and Gratis Faction knows, but he isolates the man in main, and Urkast hits this shot. Very, very close, but no cigar.
Gratis Faction, he had the read, he had the perfect play. That smoke was dropped. Here's the man, as you say, drop out from the vents, and you can also hear that rotation from Urkast. He tries to isolate that first man in. And were he left in the 1v1 versus Dexter, both of them on orbs, they're both dead in 1 shot anyway. I would have given the edge to Gratis Faction there. Grayhound, they live to fight another day. Dick Stacey doing work inside of this B-bomb site. Urkast keeping a watchful eye on mid. Renegades onto the eco. A chance for Grayhound to stay afloat that much longer in this 3rd map.
Close the distance bit by bit. These rounds are an absolute savior for Grayhound in terms of building up the money, having the full buy when you come to those rifle rounds, but also getting 1 round closer to that overtime. And it will have to be overtime if Grayhound are to take this series. Just seems so far away. One Deagle on Gray's faction. Everyone else on pistols, Glocks. Dexter's already dropped that single man, and he's going to go in for a little bit more to suffocate this mid play. Jacob will pick up the gun and actually get the trade immediately, so now we've got to be very careful if you are Grayhound. You don't want to give away weaponry. You don't want to allow these Ts to pick stuff up, because you don't know that they're full Glocks right now if you're Grayhound. Now, high flash on that B site. Dick Stacy with the white peak. Good spray, but he gets killed from Jacob. Don't tell me this one Deagle is going to be this much of a problem for Grayhound. They need to deal with the threat at hand. It's starting to fall apart for Renegades, as you would expect. So Jacob alone, 1-on-3, bomb in the hands of Grayhound.
And everyone's favourite Norwegian Australian by popular demand in this 1-on-3. He's already found 2 with the Eagles. Chances are he doesn't get much more, but he tries to hit that fight in a CT. Grayhound, 3 players inside of that B-bomb site. But that wasn't the buy for Renegades. This is the round that they've been banking on. This is the round that they've saved for. AK's out across the board. Not going to be picking up the AWP on Gratis faction. You think about the impact he's had with it. They had the money to do so. So to me, I think we're going to see something fast here from Renegades, something explosive. You'd rather have those 5 AKs for.
Yeah, the quick smoke's already coming over onto the boost to deny the Molotov. That gives Renegades immediate mid-control in this round. And look at the pace being set. Jacob's already all the way in. Urcast is going to get a fantastic spray to Azza, putting him down to 10 HP, but Jacob's moved past that position. He's already up to the highway. Should spot that left side peak, but fully flashed off. Dexter could have won that fight, but will decide against it. Might go back in for a little bit more, and they've got their back turn. Double spray down for Dexter, coming in at a clutch moment for Grayhound. In a 5-on-3 now as Renegades look to continue towards this A site. Now with that kill, the bomb's going to double back because Gratis faction is already outside of B main. He's got a big kill to find here with the CT spawn being open and no smoke in the hands of Renegades. The Molotov to the wrong side of the site. Molt has been shielded by the smoke, and that just allows more time for Grayhound to rotate in. Finally, Dexter getting down on the flank, but it is only JKS within the site.
Urcast able to pluck him from this round. Grayhound a 9th. They are grinding their way back into this. 6 rounds between them and Renegades. That gap slowly but surely closing. Once more, breaking the economy of Renegades down.
It is starting to get worrying, right? At what point are we really worried? Because
I still think if you're Renegades, you're not worried just yet, right? That round there, you try and change the pace. That was the whole thing. You're not playing a standard style. You've tried to just make a sudden call, maybe look to exploit a hole that you think you found in the Grayhound defense. You're safe in the knowledge that you still have such a big buffer to play around with. I don't think Renegades are going to be worried all too much yet, but you are right. And this is certainly confidence boosting for Grayhound. That's the worrying thing. In this one, Renegades just slowly trickling in towards middle. Urcast here spots the first man. Dexter going aggressive in main. They managed to dig down Urcast, but man advantage maintained, and that is a meaty nade onto Azza.
Ooh. Flash over. We'll peek with it, but I mean, he's only got a Glock, so just uses it to try and get in the connector. That's spotted. Malta's going to be able to get away with the kill. And 2 players left, both degged up, and a solo man on this B-bomb site should hear the vent drop, and that's going to instantly call for Malta's rotation. The nade, oh, it's going to be good. Great damage to JKS. And he's given away his position in the spawn as well. Okay.
And this is the thing, right? I think if Renegades give up this buy round, that's when we're allowed to start worrying. Tactical pause called on in. You want to make sure everyone's on the same page now. Renegades know that it is getting a little too close for comfort. They still have some room for error, but it's fast running out. That was the 4th round in a row for Grayhound Gaming on this CT side. I'm curious what the call's going to be here from Renegades. Maybe looking to make a return just to that slower default. No sudden quick set pieces out in towards mid like we saw. Because we've seen Dexter, for example, more than willing to go aggressive in main.
The worst part is when Grayhound are 15-6 down, they're not believing in it. You know, a lot of the time you would have mentally written it off, but when you start clawing back, that's when it actually gets harder for Renegades, because Greyhounds start to think, okay, we can actually do this. This is 15-10. 5 rounds is not undoable. And with every passing round, Grayhound get a little bit more confident. Sterling with this shot. The Molotov finishes off Jacob as well. And Sterling's going to get caught from the side. The double vent drop from Renegades at least keeps him in the 3-on-4, but the nade does so much damage.
Oh, but Az has dropped Dick Stacy. They're not ready for Urcaster. Why would they expect the third man here already? Quick rotation in. The bomb site not cleared. And Urcast trying to buy time, but Liaz has mopped him up. And Grayhound, you said how they would have been believing. They would have been believing that maybe something was possible here. But this is where the pressure, the nerves can get to you. They found Liaz. It's Azza, 1v1, and Dexter's dropped him. This game's continuing. Grayhound at 11th round. We're not done yet, Hugo. Bomb goes down for Renegades there, so they at least have that to fall back on. Buying is not an issue here.
And that hard stack will be as well, exactly how you said it. There's no way that Renegades would be expecting 3 men towards that site. Seems like after the tactical pause, Grayhound expected maybe a faster approach to the round, and boy, did they get it. Comes down to the wire, but Dexter saving his team. And he's had a lot of crucial rounds. He's been someone that's definitely been called out for underperforming in this event when Grayhound have had a great tournament. But, you know, here, in the most important game, he is showing up. Not only that main push a few rounds ago with the 1 AWP that Grayhound kept this game alive on and started this streak, but just there coming in with the 1v1 clutch and saving Grayhound once again. Now this time it's another fast A play. Renegades met close by Dexter. Can he continue? That's the question at hand. No flashbang here yet, but he'll just go right in and they don't even check it. Dexter sprays down 3. The trades are there, but it's too late. Is it too late?
It's Dexter's laboratory as he puts a stop to Renegade's little experiment inside of this A bomb site. Gratisfaction, the only man left up. A 1v3 required, but he has been in fantastic form on this map. And now Sterling and Dick Stacy. Gratisfaction just spots him. He's working his way around, using this smoke. Doesn't know the whereabouts of Sterling, and they managed to pick him up. A 12th round for Grayhound. This looks like it could very easily go the distance here. The money, once again, in an awkward spot for Renegades. They're going to be partial investing into this round. Hugo, look at this from Dexter. Where did that even come from?
15-6 is now 15-12. And Renegades with another tactical timeout. Their sweat is really pouring right now.
Yeah, I mean, these guys all looked pretty cool and collected. Sadly not feeling that way now. Grayhound.
Kasar's just had enough. He's just gone. He's out of here. There he is.
Where was he?
He's hiding behind the monitor. Liaz, like next to Liaz.
Oh, they've opened the Kassad pouch. They've let him out. And hopefully he's given some stern words of advice. The man stood behind Renegades could have been attributed with a lot of their success. You think back to the time where we had to see that Renegades roster without him, and that was a dismal sight indeed.
Definitely. He's been able to pull Renegades out of a lot of ruts in the past, but this has got to be another one of those. 15-12 pistols for Renegades. Dexter again. He's built up so much confidence in these past few rounds and is surely going to pay off. A quick kill off the top of the boost, but that's a gun dropped over. That's the only issue. When you're up against pistols, you're giving weapons to the Renegades. Jacob's taken it, Az has picked up the UMP. And now Renegades, they did want to go for the fast A play, but they've realized a gap in the defense of Grayhound and a gun upgrade on these Ts means that they can go somewhere else. Back to middle, smoke in the connector. Malta going to move back. Flashing off that close mid position, but Grayhound, they are far from playing aggressive here. Not against 15 rounds. Not wanting to give away a kill. It's Gratisfaction coming in through the vents, or at least faking it. However, Dick Stacy, he won't fall for it. He rotates out of B. This is a really ballsy call from Grayhound to stack up on the A site, but it is the right call to make.
I mean, Grayhound have not been shy of making these ballsy calls, as you say.
Ooh.
Down goes Azza. That is the only other prong to this two-pronged attack that was looking to come through. And a missed shot from Sterling. Jacob's in with another. Surely they don't win it on the back of this partial investment. Dick Stacey and Malta, all that remain. And Dick Stacey, there's the first missed shot from Liaz, and Dick Stacey's getting closer, ever closer into the bomb site. Jacob tried to go for that rotation, but now he has to play from main. Malta taps the bomb. Jacob, he's been spotted. They know it's not planted for him, and there's no means of getting back into this round. Grayhound, they will be picking up a 13th. They keep on fighting. In spite of all those kills going the way of the Renegades, and they even take Jacob down at the very end. 13 to 15, and we are poised to go the full 30 rounds.
What a play from Dick Stacey as well. I mean, charging into the bomb site in that kind of situation, right after your teammate misses the AWP shot that could have cost you the entire series. And he just comes in clutch, 3 kills, chases down the last man. Renegades have no answer when the Dick's in their face. And a last tactical pause called out by Renegades here, 15 to 13. Grayhound, they are making this happen, Harry. 7 rounds in a row. Despite the great entries from Renegades with the pistols in their previous round, they're not going to be able to convert it. But this time, rifles upon rifles, Harry, they're armed for the job. Gratisfaction's back on the AWP. Now, last buy we saw him pick the AK over that instead, just to be safe maybe, but now he wants to fight back against Sterling. He wants to find this opening pick and almost landing it through the mid shot as well. That would have been such a great way to start things for Renegades, but not today.
Dexter back with the aggression, only this time Liaz heard it. He heard Squeaky open, so Liaz just holding the angle right now. Sterling posted up, keeping his eye on main, and Jacob towing the line between danger and death. Both players missed their shots. 4-on-4 maintained. Renegade still with 3 players over towards this A portion of the map. Now boosting Azza over into middle. Dexter's going through the smoke. He's going to be able to get the information. There's no one in main right now for Renegades. He can make that call, and now Sterling going to keep his eye down into middle. Dexter, good for one. Going to get pressured here. They know that they have a man isolated, so Jacob is there to get him. Secure the trade, and with it, we might just see this fast play from Renegades into the A-bomb site. Sterling's been bested. Gratisfaction in with another. Malta, Dick Stacey, and Urcast all that remain, and it's Urcast on the forklift. A man who has been lights out for Grayhound. Top-rated player for them in the minor, and it's Azza to lay waste to him. Malta, a 1v4 required, or else Renegades will be securing that major challenger's spot.
To pull all the way back into this 15-13 and to lose it like this is going to hurt for Grayhound. So Malta wants to relieve some pressure. Already the first kill to Jacob, and the molly is going to spread as well. It should do the damage to Liaz, but the smoke blooms, keeps him alive. Malta's on 2. No way he's going to do this. The pistol's out as he chases the back of the site. He's being wrapped as well. Gratisfaction still on the AWP, and it's fitting for him to finish off the map and the series, qualifying Renegades to the major new challenges here in Katowice.
It gets tense, but yes, Renegades, they've done it once again. They can breathe a sigh of relief. Ooh. It must feel somewhat bittersweet, right? Obviously, they know the Grayhound guys. Gratisfaction comes from this team. You can take Gratisfaction out of the Grayhound, but you can't take the Grayhound out of the Gratisfaction. His heart probably going out to the guys, but also he's going to be happy as he becomes the first New Zealander as well to reach the major circuit.
Wow, that's awesome. And, you know, congrats to them. And obviously, commiserations to Grayhound. They still have a chance to fight back against Vici through that lower bracket and secure the 2nd place major new challenger spot. But back to the answer on the desk to see what they made of that triple best of 3.
What a game and what an ending on Case for the Aussies. We actually see Renegades manage to do it, but it started to look a little bit more scary than expected. Pimp and Blair, where do we even begin with that one? It looked like Renegades were just going to run away with the entire game, and it was going to be a quick closeout, but Grayhound, they never gave up.
It looked like they were in complete control over that game. 12-3 first half. I didn't see many mistakes being made by any of the Renegades players. I think Grayhound fell a little bit short. They had, they had a decent start to the game. They had a chance of actually getting getting into it, but they lost a few rounds, especially the one where I think it was a bomb plant. They Molotov the bomb. It was a 1 vs 2, and they didn't have time to plan it. That was a very big one. They ended up losing. So in that regard, a little bit sad on behalf of the Grayhound guys. They could definitely have gotten more T rounds out of that half. They didn't, unfortunately. And the comeback on the CT side, that was very impressive. Dexter and Urkset, I really, really, really want to praise those two. They played one hell of a game. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Renegades is the best Australian team right now, and they showcased why.
Yeah, I think it's heartbreaking, like you mentioned. They just didn't get enough T rounds, right? 3 rounds on a T set just not going to be enough. And that comeback, like, I think went 15-6 down and taking all the way to 13. Two things I got to point out. Firstly, Dexter, like you mentioned, we've been kind of harping on the fact that he hasn't really stood up. But when it mattered the most, some of the impact rounds he had on that final map was phenomenal. Urkas, again, has been a complete beast, so to speak, for Grayhound, obviously. But what I really want to point out is that on the CT side, when things were looking very grim, it was 15-6, they just tucked in, they're like, we're going to win this round after round after round. And it's kind of heartbreaking. They almost made it happen, just didn't have enough rounds on board. On the other hand, for Renegades, 4-time minor champions, Asian minor champions in a row. It'll be pretty cool if they are major champions one day. But anyway, 4-time minor champions in a row. They're undefeated. I think it's been a great performance, all things considered. Yeah. Jacob has been, in my opinion, the MVP for this tournament so far. He's been the most consistent player. He's been stepping up when it matters the most, and of course helped out ably by Azza. You know, he's the in-game leader. He's kind of like fell off in the past few months, but he's really stepped up this time around. And JKS as well. What a series from him. And Gratisfaction, top 10 animal betrayals of the year because he was instrumental in winning that final map. What a performance from the young lad.
Without a doubt. We talked about Grayhound may have to bully him, in the game because he was not really doing too well the first 2 maps, but he stepped it up big time here in third map. Such a great performance by a young guy. It's great to see them, despite having Lias and Gratisfaction coming into this team, they're still going to continue on the path they're on. Renegades is a team that is getting better and better, and I'm looking so much forward to seeing them at the major.
Well, do you know what I'm looking forward to seeing now? It's going to be Jason Kaplan down on the sidelines as he's got Azza, who I'm sure is a lot more excited than we saw from him earlier.
I knew you were looking forward to seeing me. It's okay, Banks. We can keep our secret love affair secret. But anyways, yes, joined by Azza here. First of all, we got to talk about what just happened. You've qualified now for the major. Let's start things off with that. It's a question I hate asking, but it means a lot. How does it feel for you to be back in the major here?
It feels good, definitely. Getting over this hurdle that we just had, it feels good, and we still got a lot more to achieve, so yeah, it feels good.
I can definitely hear the excitement in your voice when you talk about that. So let's actually look at the match then. Coming into that, you guys had Inferno first, and that was your map pick. When you lost that map, what was going on?
I think the same thing happened as yesterday. We just started slow, communication was very low. I think we were playing very passive, and we just weren't ourselves. So after the first map, we just had to take a step back and just reset like we did, and yeah, we did well.
And obviously, Grayhound, I mean, I think it's a really important match and a really emotional match with you guys versus them. I kind of want you to talk about them a little bit because they are obviously like the lone dog over in Australia. They've been kind of stepping up as time has shown. Is there anything you want to say about them as a team and how they've been doing?
No, the Grayhound guys are doing well. They're definitely... I think the Australian scene in general is getting better and better. They really took it to us today, even though we couldn't find the way to close out the game, which I think was definitely on us. But they definitely played very well, and I look forward to seeing more of them, and I look forward to seeing them come out tomorrow.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing you in the major. Congratulations once again. And guys, let's go back to the desk to break down the rest of that match.
Thank you, Jason. Obviously, Azza, again, he is just getting used to it at this point, right? Getting through, managing to make it happen, but can they do the damage we want to see them do at the major?
It's a good question. One of the things that worries me a little bit is the fact that they are slow starters. We're now seeing this throughout the entire Asian minor. They seem to be a little bit, shaking within the first map in a best-of-3 scenario, and that's going to be a bit of a problem coming into a major where the opposition is going to be way better than what they faced in the Asian minor so far. Yeah,
absolutely right. And I think the one advantage Renegades have going is the fact that, not to demean them, they are obviously the best team in the Asian minor, but when it comes to the major, when talking about the big boys playing over there, they want to be one of them. They want to beat these guys as well, right? So when it comes to the best-of-1 scenarios, I think that's the prime opportunity for them to, kind of pull off the upset, so to speak, right? So I think that is one thing they need to fix real quickly. They're having really slow starts, and that is something that could be a problem for them going down in the major.
Definitely agree. It's a team you have to look out for. I don't think any of the European teams is going to look at Renegades and not think to themselves that we're not going to prepare for this team. Yeah. It's a team that's proven they're on the rise, they're getting better and better, and they have potential. They have 2 new young guys, Lias and Gratisfaction, and they can only get better from here.
Well, let's see if they do get better from here, because it's time to tell and time to see what we're going to do for the rest of the day. The Asia minor may be over for now, but when we come back, it'll be the Americas. It's been an absolutely crazy day again, and tomorrow we'll be back around the same time, just a little bit later actually than, I said the wrong time, a little bit later than that time. And it'll be coming up for more Asia minor, one more best of 3, one more slot to be had. Let's see which way it goes.